Welcome to Secrets of Stand-Up Comedy. I'm Dick Williams. I'm going to tell you everything I know about stand-up comedy so you can be the best comic that you can be. But you have to do the exercises and you actually have to apply this stuff. I want to tell you a way, because this is a big concern for comics. How do I move up? How do I go from being an MC to a feature act? How do I go from being a feature to a headliner? Feature to a headliner is different because you have to start demanding or commanding an audience. You have to have people show up for your show. So that's not only about being able to do the job, having enough material, strong killer material. You don't want to make that jump too quickly. It's a lot about how much promoting you can do and how much support, if you have a fan base, all of that. But I'm going to tell you, this applies to both. But I'm going to focus on moving up from an MC to a feature at your local club. Here's how it's done. Let's say you're MCing from a show Wednesday, Thursday, 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. Let's say that's the lineup for this particular club. And you're hosting all those shows. You do 15 minutes, and then you do a few jokes or maybe a couple minutes in between. Do a totally different 15 minutes from Wednesday night to Thursday night. Show the club, show the feature, show the headliner that you have a half an hour. Same if you're the middle act. If you are the feature act, do one set, the early show Friday, do a totally different 30 minutes, the late show Friday. That's why building material is so important. Imagine you're the MC and you have 3 different 15-minute sets. The wait staff is going to notice. The booker may or may not notice, depending on how often they see you. The comics are definitely going to notice. And once you start doing that, if you're performing in your hometown a lot and there's limited opportunities, limited crowds, you're going to be able to work a lot more. Because people get tired of seeing the same joke. It's not like a song. If you're a musician, you can have one hit and tour forever because people love hearing that song. It doesn't work the same with stand-up because once people know the punchline, unless it's super hilarious, it's going to take some of the oomph out of it. There's a comic I know from Connecticut, and I'm going to say his name. His name's J.T. Moore. And I'm going to post this on his Facebook page. He's going to love hearing that he's featured on this small little channel of mine. But he deserves to get his flowers. See, I can code switch. I know the lingo. But we worked together. God, it's been years now. And I didn't see a lot of his set, but I knew he was very funny. And he's a comedy friend, but I dare say he might be moving into more of a regular friend. I'm very proud of him. He's like a son to me. I'm just kidding, JT. Don't get all upset. But what he did, so he came and did the Funny Bone in Albany, New York, which is like 20 minutes from where I live. And I actually went out and saw him. I never do that. I know headliners that perform at that club that I've known for years. I'm like, the only other person I do that for are local comics or my buddy John DeCrosta, who's from this area and lives in Los Angeles. But I came out and saw him, and he used that technique. I didn't tell him. He told me, and I already knew about it, but he said, this comic I was opening for, I did like a different set. I did a different half hour. And the headliner, he opens for really big headliners now because he's professional, he's funny, and he's got 2 sets. Maybe he's got more. And the comic said, I didn't know you had more material. He goes, oh yeah, I have quite a bit of material. Of course the other comic wouldn't know that, the headliner, unless you show the headliner, unless you show the club. And comics get really possessed because we all want to kill. We want to kill every time we go up. So we want to do that amazing half hour. We'll have 2 amazing half hours. He's going to D.C. now, New York. I don't know where else he's going, but he's got a thriving career because he works at it, because he puts in the time and he develops material and an act, and he's wise about the business side of it. Try that out. If you're an MC looking to feature, have 2 or 3 different 15-minute sets or 20-minute sets so that on the one night that the feature who's being brought in by the headliner and the headliner, their plane is delayed, like I said in another one of these, they call you and they go, hey, we know it's an off night, but we need somebody because we have 100 tickets sold and we know you have enough material. Can you headline just for this one time? And then go in and blow their socks off. And the other thing you always have to do if you're trying to move up is, this is true of every aspect of entertainment and show business. You have to develop fans in an audience base. You have to be able to bring people into the club. And even if that means your friends, families, and coworkers right now, do that. Save those people for special occasions where you finally get to feature. Pack the club out. Have every one of those people say, I'm here to see JT Moore. I hear he's awesome. Does that make sense? I hope it does. I'll see you tomorrow. I make another one of these every single day. And shout out to all the great comics in Connecticut. They're the only scene outside of my scene and the people I know from years ago. Misconduct, Melissa Misconduct, California Jones, Chris Sear, Mo Green, Richie Hector. I never know how to pronounce Richie's name because he spells it in an interesting way. Dame FK. There's so many. Cliff Mula. I'm trying to think. People are going to get pissed if I can't remember names. There's a lot. Matt Heath. I've never seen him perform, but he runs the Facebook page and puts on a bunch of events and shows down there. They're all working their asses off. I love seeing it. I love seeing them so passionate about comedy. Their Facebook page for stand-up is, they're constantly posting. They're constantly supporting each other. And of course, one of my favorites, Ira Williams, Fat Williams. I don't know if it's because we're close in age, but he reminds me of the kids I grew up with. And he's making that shift in his life where it's like kind of rough and tumble when you're younger to just focusing on being a good dad and working really hard, both in his regular life and in stand-up. And there's plenty more. I'll probably be apologizing to the comics that I didn't mention, but there's no ill will. I didn't even plan on doing this. I would have had all the names down. Davey Lozano, Kareem Blue, Philip Anthony, a.k.a. Phil Boras, Ohad Musa, or Musa. I don't know how to pronounce their last name, but his brother, Mustafa Musa or Musa. I don't even know if they're two different people or the same guy because they're both really funny. Darren Rivera, Pops Therian, Rafi Gonzalez, Chris C. Snacks Clark. And finally, the comic that I just see as the godfather of both Connecticut and Western Massachusetts, the beloved, the honorable, the distinguished, the wonderful person, Artie Robb. Rest in peace, Artie. Love you, brother. All right, that's it. I'll see you tomorrow.